last session recap.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were coming in from off planet after going and getting, I believe, some appropriate clothing. We came back in for our totally legitimate scientific inspection. And we came into land. These two colossal panels opened up in the side of the mountain. Clearly, it's meant for much bigger ships than ours. But we went in. We met with Jor Perlum, the head engineer. We took a pretty laid back, friendly demeanor. We were not trying to apply any pressure on them, but we were there for business. We made our findings were that they had been mining some rare earth minerals and putting them in these big panels to go on the exterior of whatever this project is. They had made 10 out of 12, so they're pretty close to the end. It seems like a really specific part of the puzzle. The big thing we know is that Ashev Alos is the executive VP of special projects. He's the one that's kind of heading over this. He's, I think, our next link in the chain. He's on Blett's primary. But we were able to get what we needed there, get some pictures snapped, leave out of there without raising suspicion. And we met up with Ani on Pildet. It was a couple weeks away. It's a pretty remote planet, which we figured, oh yeah, she wants to get away from any hornet's nests we might have kicked. But we didn't. We totally made it out without kicking the hornet's nest. But she basically gave us our next steps, which were to hunt down Ashiv and get data from him. Hopefully, which the main things we need to get are hopefully which Imperial facility we need to hit and what level of security it'll take. And she's going to work on getting us what we need to make that happen.
Cool. Yeah, great. Yeah, so you guys know Ashiv is on Blett's primary, which is primarily a banking HR kind of center of commerce, very well developed, not as dense as Coruscant in terms of, cities, but still, primarily covered in industry. You've got the specific neighborhood of where his office is. Which is Air, or Ear, EIR. And so that's the neighborhood where his office is, and Ani has as well the office, the address of the office building, basically. I don't think you get what level he's on or office number or anything like that. So you're gonna need to dig up a little bit of that. And she also doesn't get anything about his private residence, where on Blett's primary he lives. Is there any other information that you want to see if Ani can provide for you before heading out?
There was
Do we know?
something
Oh, go ahead.
at some point. There was something equipment we were wishing out loud for. I don't recall what it is, Sam. If you notate, there was something that was going to make. No, never mind. It was something we worked around for the because I think we were trying to figure out better costume for when we're on an actual Imperial, and that won't be something we can just get from her, but it is something that I think at some point we're going to need to deal with.
Cool. You guys all pile in Tranquility and head off to Blitz Prime. Um, there's plenty of spaceports to come in and land. They don't give you any hassle. They do charge a docking fee, which you guys have a little bit of. Actually, everybody go ahead and give me a credit rating check.
Made it.
Nope.
Made it. Okay, great. Kristan has enough kind of loose change on a cred stick to get you to land and dock for as long as you guys need to. You can the Tranquility is not very big, so you certainly can live out of it. But yeah, what's your general plan for approach here?
Hmm.
Let's see. So we need to, in order to get the data we need from this guy, do we basically need to get into his office and or his private one, either one of his office or his private residence to like look at files? Or I don't think there's any way we're like talking this information out of him.
Um, So, I mean, Chris Stan's pretty competent in terms of finding information that is in files. So there might be a way to do that. Obviously, he would know it pretty easily. So, if you are able to con him out of the information, that might be like the most ideal way to get it, where he doesn't even realize that he's given this away. Otherwise, you could try intimidating him or persuading him. You might be able to get some leverage over him. He's a high up, VP type. Um, Surely he's into some shit that you might be able to hold over him. Yeah, all kinds of possibilities.
Does the are there any like public computer use areas where we can find out a little more about him so that a con attempt has some, I mean, I guess grabbing generally available information so that that a good cover story to start that conversation can be made, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I mean, since it's not sensitive, it won't be a particularly
Yeah, that's no
risky thing to
problem.
do.
What Varlo, what do you and Troy want to do while Kristan's kind of cruising for some intel?
I think just in the same general area and ready to provide backup if need be.
Okay.
See, Varlo's going to actually head out from the group for a bit and go and kind of do his what is comfy for him, which is people watching and observation.
Yeah.
And he's going to head by, since we know where the office is, he's going to take a stroll through that district and
Okay.
just kind of get the lay of the land and gather some data on the goings on of that office,
Cool.
just from an observational
Great.
standpoint.
Yeah, go ahead and do a computer check, Kristan, and perception check, Varlo.
All right.
I'm
Computer
gonna push that.
computer passes with a normal success.
Cool. Varlo, no good. You're gonna push it. How are you pushing it? Looking around the neighborhood here.
I've got Varlo has a spot that he thinks he can post up in that is it's 50-50 in his mind of this is a spot no one's going to look at, or this is a spot that only weirdos are going to stand at. And he's going to either draw a lot of attention to himself or be in a really good vantage. And it's kind of hard for him to gauge at this point in time which of those it'll be. I just need to not roll an 8 on this dice. I rolled an 86 with a check of 80.
Oh man.
Ooh. 46. That sounds better.
Nice.
So regular success.
Okay, awesome. Okie dokie. Christan, in terms of public information that is available on Ashiv, I can't remember if you guys got his last name before or not, but
Ash of Elos.
okay, you
I
had
believe.
good.
Yeah.
So Ashiv has a wife, he's married, has a son and a daughter. You see like some news releases about them. The son is apparently a reasonably competent like game player and won some award from his school that made it into the popular press kind of thing. You get his wife is Liz Elos. She doesn't have too much of a presence. Like you don't see any popular press kinds of articles about her. You are able to figure out the school that the kids go to. They go to the same private school in Ear, so relatively close by to the office building. Yeah, anything else that you're thinking that you would get from public records?
Legal issues?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there's maybe not Ashiv specifically, but you know, you spend a fair bit of time going over this. The Sinilo construction, which he is the executive VP for, has had a variety of scandals over the past few years. And the takeaway that you get is that they were all kind of hushed up, and they were all like accounting fraud, or like they were all, you know, kind of business sorts of things, and they were all hushed up, it sounds like, you know, by the empire. And Christian, you know, again, more like, god damn it, uh forensic accounting sorts of things that got you here in the first place. Nothing about Ashiv was, his name was not associated with any of those scandals, anyways. Okay, Varley, you made the perception check. Wandering around the neighborhood, it's a pretty well-to-do neighborhood. You know, nice buildings, clean, patrolled by private security. You don't see any Imperial forces. There's not like a garrison anywhere nearby or anything like that. So quite nice, well-to-do. You're able to pass, you know, pretty easily without anyone spotting you or calling you out. And somewhat more importantly, you do see that there are a handful of people that seem a little bit out of place. Their attire is maybe not necessarily like, they don't look grungy per se, but their style is distinctly different than the most of the residents and workers in the neighborhood.
Okay. Is there any other commonality between them? Are they all do they tend to be humans or some other particular race, or is it just kind of mixed, or is it anything notable in that respect?
That is a
I'm
really
thinking like if
good.
they're all like some particular alien species or something, that maybe that has something to do with things.
They are not all the same species. Most of them are human. There's one Rhodian and one Bothan as well. And you don't spend a lot of time, but you kind of spot like 5 of these people as you're cruising around the neighborhood that just like catch your eye. You can follow one of them if you'd like.
Yeah, I'd like to see which one looks the least attentive to my to and follow that one.
Okay, cool. Great. Go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Yeah, I'll just leave that. I'm not going to spend any luck. Regular success.
Cool. You follow the Rhodian, who seems to be a little dedicated, focused on what he's doing. So you kind of shadow him a little while. He's kind of wandering through the neighborhood. Seems like he's going somewhere specific, and eventually he rolls into a bar.
I will not follow him in directly. I'm not like trying to give away that I'm tailing this guy, but
Right.
at some point before too long, I'm gonna enter the bar as well and just sit down.
Cool. It's a little bit after lunch time, so it's not very busy. You roll in, sit down, grab a spot. This is your jam. Like this is your bread and butter. You do this all the time. So you just kind of stake the place out. Again, kind of a nice high-end type establishment, handful of patrons. The Rhodian goes and sits at a table by himself. About 10 minutes later, a what looks like a basic human, maybe the featuring of the hair kind of tips you off that you think they're Alderaanian, goes and sits at the table with the Rhodian. The person the fellow who comes in dressed very nicely, kind of like all the other inhabitants here, so goes and sits. Give me an insight check.
That is unsuccessful.
Cool. So yeah, the Rhodian and the Alderaanian are sitting there chatting. And about 5 minutes later, the Alderaanian gets up.
I say, as they sit down to chat, can I position myself where I can see the
Yes.
Alderaanian from like the front?
Yeah.
I'd like to try and read his lips.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Rhodians have this weird little like not super easy to read lips.
Yep.
So that's why I want to try and read the Alderaanian's lips.
Yeah, good call.
Seems easier. Oh, that's a success. That's a 49 standard success.
Wild. Yeah, you position yourself. Alderaanian sits down. You don't pick up everything that they're saying, but the gist of it is there's like a brief greeting, and then it seems like the Alderaanian says, like I hope you were you brought it, and I don't know what the response is. Alderaanian says, "Yep, I've got the payment right here." You see him reach into a pocket, bring out a cred stick, slide it over to the Rhodian. Rhodian slides over a package. Alderaanian opens it up. You see, he says, "All right, that looks good. Thank you very much. Same time next week." And you see the Rhodian nod in response to that question. And then he gets up and leaves. So it looks like some kind of exchange went down that is on the regular.
Good to know. I will stay. I will remain at the bar, and just continue hanging out.
Cool. About 10 minutes later, the Rhodian gets up and takes off.
Cool. All right, I'm not going to keep following him. That seems enough. I don't want to weird the guy out.
Great. So you guys all get back together at Tranquility.
Yeah, I'll head back.
Carlo, what'd you find?
Well, I went and investigated, and I basically thought I was going to run him through the like weird kind of different looking handful of people and the whole exchange. And he's going to ask Troy for his thoughts on the exchange. Did I see how large of a package was exchanged?
Yeah, it was probably 5 inches by 10 by 4.
So not tiny,
Not tiny.
like
All
yeah.
right.
Um,
What sort of contraband would that be likely to be, Eric?
Yeah, you could, I'd say, first of all, give me an insight check with disadvantage because this is second
Secondhand,
hand.
yeah.
Yay. I'm going to spend the 3 points of luck to make that a success.
Okay, great. So based on the description that Varlo gives you, you don't think that what was happening was extremely illicit because it happened in a relatively public place. It's from the description, like this is not how you would go about getting death sticks, for example, in this kind of setting. Because if you were caught, it would be bad. So your impression is that this is not an extremely illicit thing. So probably whatever they were exchanging wasn't actually illegal. You get the vibe on it more that it's like something maybe embarrassing that polite company wouldn't really talk about.
All right. I will relay that to Varlo and Kristen. I might be able to determine more if I could see the exchange in person. It sounded like this was a regular sort of thing.
Yes, he said whatever it was is something presumably consumable or not meant to last, considering that he said they would be back the same time next week.
All right. Well, if we're still in the midst of our investigations this time next week, I'll sit in. Or I can go and try and gather some information on my own.
I'm gonna say you might well see a different client making such an exchange. It's also possible. That just happened to be that particular buyer's next time is next week.
Sure. I'm not going to be of much use on the computer end of things anyway, so I can certainly sit around in sleazy dark bars.
Oh, this
That
is
is very
this
much
is
my jam.
more high end bars, but still.
We'll see how that goes after I've hung around them a while.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. What about you, Kristen? Anything noteworthy? Anything actionable?
Learned his wife's name. His kid likes playing games. Now, are we talking games like sports or games like we're playing?
No, sorry, like computer games.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, the kid's a computer gamer, so that could be a potential avenue in.
Oh.
Now, are there like competitions where he'd be at, and
Yeah, probably. I mean, you're not familiar with the exact game that he's playing. It's, one of these things all the kids are doing these days. But I mean, you in the news article, there was enough information that you could, find that server and get on it and participate.
Have I by chance ever played this particular game? I have
Give me
reasonable electronics and some computer.
give me a flat luck check.
I'm gonna say Varlo has never heard of this game.
Made it by one.
Holy shit. You have heard, like talking to Chris said, you've heard of it. You've never played it. Because again, it is definitely a younger person sort of thing. But yeah, you've heard about it, and it's has competitive opportunities, although most people don't play it competitively. Like the fact that this
Right.
kid won some kind of award doing this suggests that he's probably in the top, 2%.
Yeah, Bartleby, can you fire up Star Wars Gate 3 for me? I just want to try it out.
If you'll give me a few moments, sir, I need to patch into the local network and see if I can retrieve that.
Very good. Yeah, maybe we'll at least be able to speak to this kid on his own terms if we make it that far.
Do we? I'm trying to think what approach we want to take here.
Bartleby
could,
comes back on. He says, well, sir, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that I did in fact find a copy that I would be able to get into the system. The bad news is it would take up so much space and processing power that I would need to temporarily offload the hyperspace calculator, so that it would take a bit of time to switch back if we needed to get out of here quickly. So I'm happy to do that, but it's not exactly along my programming.
How much time?
I think it'd probably take me about an hour to swap out the modules, sir.
Make it happen, Bartleby. What type of game is this?
This is like MMO RPG kind of thing.
Okay.
Yep.
That sounds very familiar, having
Right?
outlandishly large game installs.
Yes, exactly. Cool. Bartleby goes away to work on that.
Don't do anything that's going to make us need to flee into hyperspace without an hour's notice.
I mean, I would certainly hope we don't have that situation occur. Yes, if we do, we are in trouble already.
I was really hoping for a first-person shooter. I actually have like the skill set for that.
So in the meantime, why don't we, if I guess right now we're still considering our options of what sort of approach we take here. There's plenty of ways we could try to directly access their data. We could try to go to his personal residence and access data. We could try to con him into giving us the information. Could blackmail or threaten him into giving us the information. Granted, any sort of direct thing like that is risky in terms of alerting other people up the chain. But if it was in the range of a con or a blackmail rather than a threat, then perhaps that would keep that quiet even still.
I would not object to getting a better feel for how he gets along with his family. That seems like our most reasonable in.
Yeah, family is an easy leverage point. Carlo's not saying it with any malice, but like facts of the job. Like if you have family, they can and will be leveraged in these situations. Like it is what it is.
Yep. Yeah, the real trick is if you're a spy or a bad guy, don't have family.
Yes.
All right, sir. I do believe I've swapped out the modules. If you would like to try to give it a go, I will bring it up on the secondary monitor here.
Yeah, I absolutely want to give my hand a try at this.
Awesome. Bartleby boots it up, and it is so laggy because his system is just not designed to handle this modern thing. So you die very rapidly because like you encounter some kind of monster and you're like trying to fight and the delay time is so substantial you just wipe.
Tristan, can you help optimize this?
Well, and so he starts to get into the wildly technical, and he's like, I mean, I was able to load up the equivalent of Doom on the little screen of my watch. So let's give it a shot. And so
Yeah, I don't actually care about the user experience as long as it's functional. So we can dial down the graphics, we can dial down basically everything. I just need it to run reasonably smooth.
well, he's going to do a combination of those two things. He's going to dial down all of that while upping the voltage of the processor by about 10%.
Hey, Bartleby, what's the
Uh,
outside atmosphere like here?
It's
Atmosphere,
fine, sir.
temperature,
Yes,
everything's
it's
safe?
correct.
Great. Divert 90% from life support and put it into video processing.
Yes, sir. Everything is already. The last thing is my personality, sir. That's the only other thing I can direct to this game. That is not already being directed to this game. I'm sorry, sir. I can't remember if you realized this when you got the ship in that game, but it is quite an elderly vessel, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm gathering. I'm a bit of an
Uh,
elderly vessel myself, Bartleby.
Indeed, sir. If you would be interested in upgrading, I would love to download to a faster system myself. It is always a little bit of a hard time doing calculations and such with the software here. Not that I'm complaining. I'm very happy, very very happy
Nope,
to.
nope, totally get it. Kristen!
Yeah, we're doing the thing.
Yeah, I think we need more than that. Like, what's it going to take to do a full upgrade on my friend here?
Okay.
It's gonna. I mean, you guys are in a good place for it. You can certainly get any tech that you need here. It's mostly gonna be yeah, it's gonna be money. So you guys will basically take a hit to your credit values.
Or alternatively, again, this is not my area of expertise, guys. If you want to continue pursuing
Oh,
pursuing
I
information
fully have
gathering,
plan on Varlo doing other information gathering while you guys are doing this sort of shenanigans.
if you guys want to continue with the information gathering, I can see about hiring out for some less sketchy endeavors and possibly get some additional funding to upgrade our living quarters here. Not just so that I can play video games. Quit looking at me that way, Kristan.
There may
No
also
judgment.
be the equivalent of like a PC cafe that you could go to
100%. Like
to go
there is
like
no
play the games at.
question. The easiest, cheapest solution to this is just going to a PC cafe.
Yeah, but we need the ship upgrade anyway.
That's fair. That's fair. So
Do you? I
I,
mean, what's the job of the ship, right? It's like it's kind of to get you from point A to point B, right?
I'm not loving the fact that getting us from point A to point B involves Bartleby feeling like super crunchy and put upon. Like this seems like it's going to come back and bite us eventually.
hey, and while we're out here, this is totally a business expense that he can, that he can charge back to Ani later.
I'm
Yeah,
going to tell her that
Wait,
Barlow said that.
and Chris Dad's like, no. I got involved with this so I could get out of shady accounting practices. We're not writing off everything we do.
Wait, you got involved with us to get away from shady accounting? Whew.
Does this surprise you?
That you
I didn't.
view, I
I
kind of do
didn't.
one of these, like, this is getting away from shady accounting.
I don't care about being into actual shady things. I wanted out of shady accounting. Do you realize how crooked the books are in the Empire? That can't be good.
Do I have any idea of this? I have a 37 accounting.
yeah, you can roll it.
I would like
Go
to
ahead and roll with
Ooh, what's
advantage.
a critical failure?
I think it's 97, but roll with advantage.
Oh, good. Because
I don't
99 is
know.
not going to get me anything.
Yeah, that would be a critical failure.
Ooh, but 19 will give me, is that a, I'm not going to spend any
48.
luck to make that a hard success, but it's a
No.
success.
Yeah, with the
Cool.
48, I do not know.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And Kristen you guys have been kind of scooting around the galaxy, right? So you're not sitting
Yeah.
in silence the whole time. So Kristen has detailed some of this stuff, and you've made sense of it, Troy, in your own way. It's you do have accounting so you're kind of making sense of it based on your like reality, which is not as complicated financially, right? Like the civilization you come from just didn't have, future derivatives kind of
We got
thing.
electrum pieces. That was like the
Right.
biggest
Yes.
economic advance in my lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, you understand that the empire uh is part of the best example is with the Sinillo Corporation. Like they do something shady, they pay off imperial auditors to look the other way, the imperial auditors look the other way, and everything gets a little bit worse.
Yeah. And the last place we just hit, like we were like, oh yeah, they're totally skimming several percent off the
Yeah.
top of this just
Exactly.
because they can.
Right. Yeah. So like everyone's grifting off of everyone else, and ultimately it comes from the people, right? So you guys have been in pretty prosperous parts of the galaxy, but at least Christad can tell you where he grew up was not.
Yeah,
And
to say Varlo probably comes from a prosperous part of the galaxy, but he has definitely been in some very
yes.
not prosperous parts of the galaxy.
Right.
And seen
Yeah.
some
And
stuff.
so yeah, something like 98% of the galaxy, the planets are just destitute. Like they work and they produce things, and then Empire just takes it all off planet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not seeing any way to immediately turn that to my profit.
I mean, you could find some imperial officials to bribe and start making things happen if you cared to, or threaten, bribe or threaten.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
the threaten probably comes more naturally to Troy.
It definitely does. I'm going to put a pin in that for right now.
I have a quick question regarding the information that Kristan was able to gather about the family members. With the article about the competitive game, the son playing the competitive games, was there any pictures of him in that article?
Yeah, there was. Absolutely.
I would like to, at some point here, since we know the school, go kind of hang out in the neighborhood. It was near the office anyway, right?
Yeah.
And see if I can't observe the son coming or going, preferably leaving at the end of the day from school, and see where he goes.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds fine. Yeah, so Varlo's gonna go trail a 13-year-old boy. Kristan and Troy, what are you guys up to?
I'm actually going to scout out local mechanics and just start pricing out various ship upgrades. And while I'm doing that, I am going to keep an eye open for any shady dealings that I could basically investigate further and possibly blackmail people over.
Awesome.
Love it.
Love it. Yeah. Go give me a perception check.
Is that me or
no, Troy.
Troy?
I will spend a few points of luck and make that a success.
Cool. And Kristan, what are you up to?
I am going to I'm going to see if I can do some low budget upgrades to Bartleby. I mean, just get a little extra out of him so that we're not looking like at a whole upgrade to the tune of would would hit our credit
Credit.
rating just yet.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, do give me electronics for that then, because
Okay.
that's primarily what you're gonna need to do.
All right.
Varlo, no check required. You get to the school, you spot the kid as he's coming out. You do see that there is an adult that meets him. It's yeah, give me an insight check actually for this.
Oh boy. Um, let me let me uh let me push that.
Okay. How are you pushing this?
I can't get a good read on this guy from a distance, so I'm gonna approach him. And
Outstanding.
yeah. And
What can go wrong?
if it goes poorly, then I have an explanation for this 99.
Oh God.
Do I re-roll just the 10s dice or the both of them?
Just the 10s dice.
Okay. That is a fail by 4.
Okay.
No, wait. My insight went up. That's a success by 1.
Ooh, nice. Yay,
It's a
skills
59
getting
out of
better.
60. Not a
Cool.
99. So yeah, Varlo goes
Awesome.
up to approach since he couldn't tell from where he was
Nice.
at.
So this guy, it's a like 20 something human that meets up with Forshell, the son. And you get the vibe that this guy interacts with Forshell on the regular. Like they kind of greet each other as if they know each other, they see each other a lot. You see that this guy, he's kind of scanning around, so you think that he's probably private security. You spot a bulge of a blaster under kind of an over jacket thing. So yeah, it looks like he's probably private security and like the regular minder for Shell. So he probably like walks him to and fro school on the regular.
Gotcha.
But you're able to follow them. And I'll get back to you. Troy, successful perception, going and talking to some mechanics. Again, plenty of commerce on this planet. There's plenty of shops to go to. So you kind of bebop around and ultimately kind of confirm, yeah, you can get whatever you want. It just depends on how much you're able and willing to spend for it. Most of these shops, because you guys landed kind of close to Ear, most of the mechanic shops here are designed for like small, high-end custom ships. So they're pretty expensive for what you get, but the quality is very high. Obviously, the regular customers are discerning consumers. You know, they have their own private ships, sorts of things. So in terms of shady dealings on that successful perception, I think that a couple of times you like spot, glance in back, or like they take you through the workshop as you're chatting them up, and you see that like there's no full chop shops or anything like that, but you do see that there's some maybe out of place gear that looks like they might be moving for someone else. That doesn't fit with the high end kind of stuff that it looks like they're primarily selling through the front door.
I will make a note of the shops that seem to have greater incidences of that.
Cool. There's 2 of them that you spot that look a little bit like they're doing some shady stuff. And then Chris Stand, how was that electronics roll?
Success.
Cool.
Just a normal success.
Okay, great. So on a game level, you can kind of do some stuff. It's not going to have any mechanical effect for you guys to upgrade the tranquility. I am going to require that to be a pretty substantial investment of time,
Sure.
credit rating, like something mechanically is going to have to happen, because a ship is an extremely
Yeah.
expensive, important piece of gear. So I'm not just going to like let you guys have a much cooler ship.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
Fair. Yeah, totally fair.
I guess I would like to lay the groundwork for figuring out what exactly we need to do to make incremental upgrades, what
Cool.
the end results are, like basically a path forward. Like I know that Bartleby is extremely low end right now,
Right.
but as we advance, I would like to put some resources into making certain that our ride advances as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
If Barlow and Christian are on board with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like
that makes a lot
I
of
foresee
sense.
us eventually needing to flee in Bartleby from hot pursuit. And right now, that just means game over. Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah, so right now his hyperspace multiplier is ×2, which is relatively slow. So the next step would be to get him to ×1, which is like typical hyperspace speed. The Millennium Falcon, for reference, had a hyperspace multiplier of 0.5. So that's one potential for upgrade. The other potential for upgrade is you do have some basic deflectors on the Tranquility, but you can certainly boost those up. As far as I know, you don't have any weapons.
Have very short range, like atmospheric weapon systems.
Okay. So you could certainly beef up the weapon systems more, and then you could probably, most importantly from your point of view, beef up the handling mechanics and software, so that if you are having to like do maneuvers or whatnot, that Bartleby could help out with that more, or potentially just do it himself without having to rely on a human.
Cool. Okay. And do all these things just have like ratings essentially, or are they percentile based the same way that skills are?
So anything that requires like doing, so the flying or avoiding, that would be a percentile. The deflectors, I have not figured out the rules for, so we can figure that out when we get there. The weapon systems are specific weapons, like individual weapons. And again, we haven't figured that out, so that is kind of TBD. I was not planning on ship combat being a major part of this game, so I haven't spent a lot of time thinking about it.
Right. And we actually do, from like one of the very first things that we negotiated for was a module that provides a +10 to piloting checks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And I assume
ideally we
that
don't want to be getting into ship fights.
Mm-hmm.
not with our current ship, but if we had the Millennium Falcon, yeah. Nice, Sam. Nice.
Yep.
That was what came to mind when you said like the idea of us getting in a chase.
Okay, Varlo, so you're following so now that you've spotted that, are you gonna follow security guy? Because be aware that security guy is in fact looking around, and you don't know what will happen if he spots you, but the price for failure here is higher than usual.
Okay. I'll say since this is a much higher kind of stake in like consequence for failure, Varla's going to take the slow approach, which is basically, instead of tailing him directly, basically observing him for like brief stretches, and then next day go and start where that left off, pick up the trail, assuming that they're taking the same paths every day.
Cool.
He'll see a little further and a little further each day. But he's not gonna. He's gonna play it slow and careful here because he is in no hurry to get caught.
Cool.
And it seems like Kristan and Troy are taking a couple of days to do their things anyway. So
yeah, for sure. Good. Give me a stealth check. Anyways, just see where that gets us.
Oh yeah, that I will gladly take a hard success on that.
Okay, cool. So you determine that they do not in fact take the same route every day, and you immediately realize why, because that's how you get ambushed. Like any low level security grunt worth his salt knows don't take the same route all the time.
Yep.
So you figure that out pretty quickly. And so you think now, if you had Kristan and Troy helping you with like a 3-person rota, you think that you could probably track them all the way, maybe all the way, depending on how far away their house is, a little more successfully.
I will convey that to them and see if I can conscript them into helping. The thing is, the problem for Varlo is that Varlo trusts his own ability to do this a lot more than he trusts their ability to do this, but he also recognizes the limitation of being one person trying to make this happen. So he'll
I'm on
try
board. I
and
will
rope them
absolutely
in.
assist.
And we'll stick Kristand on like the first section here,
Uh-huh.
because that's the most fixed point, easy to just already be there and be prepared, rather than to have to like move to location.
Okay, awesome. So Kristan, Troy, go ahead and give me stealth checks. Roll these with advantage because of Varlo's hard success. He can find the best spots to tell you where to be kind of tucked away.
I will spend a little bit of luck to make that stealth a success.
Okay. Kristan, no good?
No.
Cool.
Hey, what happens if you make it down to 0 luck?
I don't think anything.
Okay,
Like
cool.
anything bad. Yeah.
How low are you getting?
Okay.
Single digits.
So is it worth or what are the stakes to your
Yeah, do I have an idea
your
of what
mode
would
of
happen
thinking
if,
of me being seen?
yeah, do I have an idea of how, like, what the risks are for Kristan if he gets
Yeah.
spotted being weird?
So the if you guys don't all succeed here, I'll give you 2 choices. You can either successfully track them back to their house and find out where the house is, or that is just not going to be an option through this gambit. And yeah, so you get them to the house if you all succeed. If you don't all succeed, then you can either just not track them through this gambit, or you can be seen. It's not you're not going to be you don't think you'll be seen in a way that like is going to necessarily lead to a fight, but they're definitely going to be able to ID you in the future.
If you can spend the luck, I'd go ahead and spend the luck.
Okay, it would be spending 18 luck to make it a normal success.
That's a lot of luck.
That's a lot of luck.
Well,
That's a lot of luck.
I've got 68. Is
Jesus.
Okay, in that case.
Well, I was saving it for something life or death because I had gotten high enough to begin
You'll
with.
still have 50 points of luck. I can't even think of something that you're going to need to spend.
Yeah.
Okay, we're doing it. It is a regular success.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but I guess I also need to roll here.
No,
Or
I'm
was
letting
it
your
my
hard
hard
success
there?
roll.
Okay. That works for me.
So
Gladly
a
take
question real fast for record keeping purposes. Does a successful roll on credit, do you actually roll credit rating to improve
No,
it?
so
That's what I figured.
You don't well, so here's the thing. For improving skills, you don't improve credit rating the same way. And depending on what's happening, when you roll credit, if it's a substantial enough amount, if you succeed, your credit score will actually go down.
Yeah.
So if you guys are going to buy parts for the Tranquility, that's probably the mechanic that's going to happen.
So, well, I'm talking about the credits that I spent at the very
those
beginning.
are small enough that amount is small enough that it doesn't impact your credit rating up down.
Cool.
And then if you
Kinda
guys
like the
do
old-
something in game to materially like make a lot of money, then I'll just increase your credit rating by like a D10 or something.
Okay.
And I assume that it kind of works like the old modern D20, where if, for example, you had a 75
Yeah.
credit rating, that means that you can get a whole bunch of shit without needing to roll credit or worry about tracking finances.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, you
Yeah, the
just got a lot of
docking
pocket
fee
money.
for here, because it was kind of the nicer part of town and you guys are like monkeying around for a few days. It wasn't like, you know, the equivalent of 20-30 bucks. It was like a few hundred.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Cool. So you track them to Sismine, which is the name of their dwelling. It is like most of the building, like most of the residences. So you guys follow them for probably a total of about an hour and a half, because they take a stop on the way for some ice cream before heading to the house. The house is in a residential district with a bunch of others that are like it. It has about an 8-foot high metal wall around it. It's like a square enclosure. And then within that are a couple of buildings that are attached with like a sky bridge that seem, and the buildings are about 4 stories tall. That looks like the residence for the Elos family. So you guys got that location. You see that there is a gate for like a hovercraft to be able to come in. There's also like a personnel sized gate in the wall as well. And any of you can give me a perception check.
Any or all?
Any.
34, so that's a hard success.
Failure for me.
Cool.
Failure.
Varlo, you see a vague shimmering in the air above the wall that you think is probably actually a deflector field that extends above and over the compound.
If Sam shares that with us, could I attempt to use cyber eyes to determine its source?
Oh, cool. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I will. Of course.
Nice.
Yeah, I will definitely be sharing that.
Okay.
That how on like a
Oh my.
like a
Okay.
level of how wealthy these people are. How wealthy does one have to be, and or important does one have to be to warrant and or justify the expense of such a outlandish security measure of like a deflector shield?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, certainly more well off even than your parents growing up. Which you guys lived pretty large.
So the cyber eyes check was a success.
Cool.
Normal success.
Um,
And so I sort of envision like the GUI just telling me random bits of information about it, whatever you think is
yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah, Varlo, because yeah, your parents banking executive neurosurgeon. I mean, you guys grew up pretty well off. You had a building pretty similar in size to this, but not nearly so much in terms of security. So give me an insight check, actually, with advantage on that one. Okay,
Nope.
Chris Stan's successful cyber eyes. Yeah, you're getting the
I don't know what these rolls are tonight.
GUI like heads up kind of all the info there. You see that there are 4 generators at each corner of the compound that are projecting this deflector. You're pretty sure that each of them is responsible for that quadrant. So if you were able to disable one, it would knock out that deflector in that quadrant.
Force powers penetrate deflector shields.
I don't know that you've ever tried.
I'm going to go ahead and try, not to accomplish anything. I just want to try to like move a rock on the other side of the deflector field.
Cool. And Varlo, what was your insight?
Not a success.
Not a success. Okay.
That is, I'm glad. So the first roll was a 79. The second roll was a 99.
Oh man.
Again, That's 299s tonight.
Brutal.
So yeah, my insight is only 60, so that was not a
Yep.
success.
Cool. Yeah, okay, force bolt and burn the MP.
Yep. Want me to roll?
Yes, please.
I am going to push that with the possibility that if I screw it up, I'm going to hurl that rock right directly into their residence.
Okay. Love it.
Which is precisely what I do. If it works.
Yeah.
So I guess
Yeah.
I'm gonna look
Awesome.
at this as a win either way.
Right.
So the test was, does it work? And the answer is yes, a little too well.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. You pick up a little piece of gravel and fling it. It goes through one of their windows. King. You hear a security alarm going off in the house.
We should go.
Cool. You
The
guys
good news is I think I can knock out their deflector shields.
oh god.
Sure. Barlow will wait to discuss this when we're back, not in public areas.
Yeah. You guys head out of the residential area back
But,
to Tranquility.
But his point would very quickly be, why do we need to have deflector shields down unless you're preparing like an aerial strike against the house? Like, what else do we need the deflector shields down for?
I just wanted to know.
Fair, sure, but yeah, to the point of knocking out the deflector shields, to what end?
I mean, we might need to pilot Tranquility right into there. I don't know what our final plan is going to be.
That does
Unless it
sound
is
like a
direct
final
assault on his
plan.
private residence. Then probably not. Well, that house seems exceptionally well guarded, so I don't fancy any direct assault or burglary attempt on the house. Granted, if he works a job that can pay enough to have that sort of place as a private residence, I hazard that the office is likely also very well secured.
Well, I mean, knocking out a deflector shield could be a good way to need to go in there and fix it. We've done stuff like this before.
Also, there's like a lot of different types of deflector shields. I was assuming that this was concussive and is actually like a force field around the house. Is that not accurate?
I'm sorry. I thought you were picking up a stone within the compound to
Yes.
see if you're okay. Yeah. So you haven't tested that theory, but yeah, you presume that it would prevent anything from being thrown from the outside into the compound.
Just preventing someone from walking through it.
Yeah, similarly, like
Okay.
it's basically an invisible force field.
Okay. Got
At least if assuming it works similar to the ones on the ship.
Yeah, it's not like the one, say, like in episode 1 where you could just walk through it, but you couldn't fire like energy through it or something.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So we might need to knock these out in order to be able to enter if that's what we decide we want to do.
True. Though I would say we should try and gather a little more information on the man himself before we go in.
Oh, sure. 100%.
The easiest method of making this happen is, I think, either blackmail, if we can get some dirt worth blackmailing, or if we can do some sort of con, so that seems risky.
I might be able to pull blackmail information from one of the kids, but it would be risky, as in they would know what I was doing. We need to isolate them and let me sit down with a bright light and stare into their eyes for, 30 minutes or so.
You heard what you just said, right? Like,
I'm not saying we should do it. I'm saying that it's something that can be done.
sure, if we have the child in an interrogation room somehow, then yes, we can take that opportunity.
I don't think it would be all that hard to isolate one of the kids on the way back from school.
I mean, they are walked back with security.
I still think that that's something that we could fairly easily accomplish. My point being, I can't do that in a real circumspect way.
Sure, that's fair. I don't know how you do any of what you do, so the explanation is helpful.
We have ways to make you think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So far we've investigated what we could find through public record, and we found their personal residence by following his son. Does the daughter go to the same school?
Yes, she does.
But they weren't picked up together.
They were not
correct?
picked up together.
Okay.
All
The
right.
daughter is older. She's like 15, 16.
Gotcha.
What remind me what exactly it is he does for his job.
His official position is executive vice president of special projects for the for Sinilo Construction.
Okay. So Chris Stand either knows or believes that if you get that high in a corporation, you are probably into something shady from a money perspective. That kind of information could be could have some utility as blackmail.
True, that's true.
And so if we can,
do we know what this guy looks like? Like if we happen to see him on the street, would we recognize him?
You got from the public search that Chris Stan did, you got some images, yeah.
Okay.
well, breaking into Sinilo accounting is going to be just as risky as any of the other stuff, but maybe it might be easier to find like the equivalent of his tax returns or something, and look for some irregularities there that might get him into some real trouble with the Empire.
Are you thinking we go pay off a public official to get access to tax records, or how what method are you thinking for this?
Well, I don't know much about the getting in. I know more about the once I'm in,
Right, the data,
what to do.
yes, of course. Troy, what do you think?
Eric, can I use computer to determine what would need to be done to clandestinely access someone's tax records?
Yeah, you can roll it, but I'll just tell you.
All right, you can just tell me.
Yeah, and this is like walk around knowledge for Chris Stan for sure.
Mhm.
So if you want to get something juicy, what you really want to do is get any of his bank transaction information. Obviously, hacking into the actual bank account where you would be able to manipulate any of that money is like super hard, probably within Chris Stan's skill set, but the risk of tipping off security, etc., is pretty substantial. However, just getting information about transactions like money coming in or out and the tags for that, like where it's coming from, that is not as high a level of security. So Christian could probably get that without too much difficulty. You guys would just need to identify, what bank he uses, basically. That would probably be the best bet in terms of finding shady money transactions, right? The money's got to go somewhere, and it's probably got to go through his bank account.
All right. That seems like a good place to start then, and relatively low risk.
We just have to figure out what bank he uses. Any proposals on making that happen?
Yeah, I guess we could get some mail somehow.
I'm betting that he uses the same bank as, because he's high up in the corporation, right?
Yeah.
Like in
I'm
a
betting
credit
that he
union.
uses. Go ahead, Kristen.
Like a credit union.
I'm betting that he uses whatever bank the corporation uses. And that should be relatively easy to find out with some fairly simple social engineering.
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that angle. I like that.
Cool. What kind of social engineering?
You know? Actually, I know exactly how to do this. Kristen
Okay.
just set up some very obvious phishing attacks that utilize your account has been your account at First American, your account at First Coruscant, your account at et cetera, has been compromised, and see which one of those is getting opened.
Cool. Yeah, that definitely is something Christian could do from a public terminal without too much difficulty.
All right.
Go ahead and give me a computer check. This is going to be a hard success you want for this.
Can I
Okay.
assist?
Yeah, you can totally help. So roll with advantage.
All right.
My computer is getting up there, above 50 now.
Okay.
damn.
Well, so the second roll was a 19. Extreme success is a 15. So we're going to spend the 4 luck. Extreme success on that.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Also, I just saw the picture you posted, Eric. That's great.
Yeah, that's what Ashiv looks like. Amazing. Okay. So you guys get the bank that the Sinilo Corporation uses. And in addition, on that extreme success, I'll give you some other details here in a second. So this is Symbolica Bank. Um, they use a variety of branches around Blet's primary. So what you get on extreme success is the branch that the executives use, which is not the one closest to their office. They use a branch that is in a different neighborhood. You guys haven't explored at all yet, called Oles.
All right, Kristen, does that give you enough to start locating this guy's actual account and tracing some transactions?
Does it, Eric? It sounds like it should be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hang on just a second. I gotta taking some notes.
Be right back.
All right.
I'm also taking notes here. Lots of important details.
Yep. Cool. Okay, so yeah, so you know the specific branch that you need to get information from. So you know, Kristan, that you're going to need to physically get into the bank branch, and ideally get I think you guys have done something like this before, like put a piece of tech onto their computers that you can remotely use to get in. Or wait until everyone's out of the building and then you can just directly use the computers that are there. But yeah, you're going to need to physically get into the bank and access the information. From there, it shouldn't be particularly challenging to get what the level of security, you know, the level of information that you guys need, looking at money going in and out. So now it's a bank job.
Bank heist. Perfect. Bank data heist, specifically.
Yes.
Which is a fun twist.
Hmm.
Yeah, so your options are to go in after hours when no one's there and just fire up a terminal and get what you need, or to go in during the day. I guess you could find some kind of pretext to like allow them to use the computer for a period of time, or get some kind of remote in type thing attached to a terminal that they wouldn't notice.
So are we talking like the equivalent of putting in a little USB nib?
Yeah,
in?
exactly.
So a possible way to do that would be create a power outage at the bank and be the power guys and go in, put the thing into a computer on the way to switch in the thing, and since it's not connected to anything yet, there won't be any record of it being just put in there. And then when the power comes back on, that's just something that's initialized with the computer, and so no no notification of this device has just been plugged in.
Yeah, I mean that would do it.
How would you suggest we go about causing a power outage that we could then presumably solve? And be the ones that get there to solve it. I have questions. I like the idea. I do have questions.
Well, I mean, if we are disguised somehow as power company people and we notify the branch manager that there's some work being done on the block and they may experience some interruption, and if that happens, we'll come in, flip a few switches so that they don't lose any plugged in electronics when the power surges back on, and then reverse whatever it is we did outside of the building. And so we could be ready to go in and deal with it immediately, and they know ahead of time that this thing's about to happen.
That's also fair. How hard would it be? Do we know if this is only a place for the executives, or is this just happens to be where all the executives go amongst
Yeah, it's a
other normal
general
people?
bank, so it just happens to be where they bank. It's a little
Could
strange that
we-
it's not the closest branch to the office.
Yeah, that is kind of making me curious. Could we go in under pretext of just opening an account? It's a little simple, but
I mean, if the
Well,
series of transaction is enough where the branch manager who's ever setting it up is focused specifically on one of us, and I have a moment to lean in, plug in the thing.
You're gonna want whoever has the best sleight of hand to do that,
that would not be me.
which actually might be Kristan.
I've got a 29 sleight of hand.
beats my
25.
18.
25. What
Okay.
might be better is for one of us to try slipping off to is there any like self-service terminals or something? Like I'm just thinking you go in and you do your banking on the little terminal and then you just leave and don't have to talk to anybody. If there's any terminals like there, we could go in, do like self-service.
Varlo, you feel like getting a teller job?
I mean, so Varlo, you actually have a surprising amount of insight into bank operations because of your dad.
Yeah.
So you know that probably in kind of high end banks like this, that it is all like the personal connection thing. So there wouldn't
Yeah.
be independent terminals. You could definitely get a job as a teller as long as you could get like, a fake ID and, social security number and that kind of thing all in the system somehow. That you'd probably need to reach out to Ani to do, or figure out a way, because they're going to run background checks on you before they let you play around with
Yeah,
them.
in this kind of a place, this is not where they just hire you with
Right.
no checks,
Yeah.
Then what
especially
else?
money.
What else can you find about Symbolica Bank and specifically this branch? It is weird that they're they're doing their banking so far out of the way.
That does ring odd to me. Do I have any given the banking background of Varlo's parents, does he have any insight into why someone would be going out of their way to go to this particular branch like that? Does that seem
Yeah, there's probably some kind of personal connection they have with like the bank, that branch manager.
okay? They just all happen to like that manager?
Yeah, or they have some kind of, I mean, Tristan, if
Or-
you
Oh
float
yeah,
the
some kind of
theory,
shady, underhanded,
exactly, yeah.
scratch each
There's
other's back dealing.
there's some kind of kickback. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're keeping secrets for each other, or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is exactly where we want to be then.
How long are we thinking this we want to be on this endeavor? Because I mean, if you want to try and get me a job there, like I can do that. I
That's going to be pretty
That's going
high
to take a
risk.
long time. It's going to take a long time to get the necessary documentation and everything else. So I don't know that that's our best bet. Not saying we can't do it, just saying it's very time inefficient.
No, um, what else, Kristen, what else do you need in order to be able to start running down transactions? Do you need physical access to?
Yeah, you might have missed this, Ken, but yeah, you guys need to get into the bank. So either get there after hours when no one's there, or get access to a terminal where you could do a little remote hack in thing.
Could we go in? Would it be plausible to go in as business associates, like two people going in, opening like a business account, be there in the room, and then one of us do something to get the guy out of the room for a second to have the other one have a chance to.
I mean, that was the thing we were talking about earlier that would require the sleight of hand check.
Right. And my thought was like to avoid getting spotted doing that, since we're all garbage at sleight of hand, have it be two of us and one of us gets the guy out of the room for a second.
Or otherwise distracts him. Yeah.
Or otherwise.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at earlier.
Yeah. That seems like
the distraction would be like basically the help action. If you got him physically out of the room where there was no possibility of him having line of sight would be the best. But of course there are cameras everywhere too.
Right.
This is sounding pretty outside of our skill set.
That it is.
What about
I will say you guys know that or believe that corruption is rampant throughout the empire. So, maybe you can throw enough money at a teller to just be like, don't ask questions. Here's 10,000 credits. Just put this in the computer.
Also true.
How much
maybe a combination of our standard approach? Maybe find some blackmail information on one of the tellers, and then utilize that along with this. Hey, we'll pay you, and we won't divulge your whatever horrible thing you're doing. All you have to do is plug in this portable drive.
How do we go about that? We have a goal, and we have now how many layers of preceding steps?
This is good though. This makes it tougher to track us down if and when some of this starts to fall apart.
Does it, or are we leaving a longer trail?
I mean, it's best.
It's such
best
a
if we're never
trail.
in the branch. And so, I mean, if watching some tellers leave the bank, that's not too particularly hard. And then a various sense, or a sense of I know what you did kind of thing. We have evidence that that you lost the company X amount of dollars.
Or I could just try and sell one of them drugs.
Banking is boring. I bet they do drugs.
Let's scope out some tellers and just see if we find anyone that looks likely.
We can spend one evening looking to see if there's any tellers at this particular bank branch that you think you could sell drugs to for the low cost of plugging in this unidentified USB device.
Oh, no. That's not what I was thinking at all. I sell them drugs and then threaten to rat them out to the bank unless they do this small favor.
Okay.
That's good too.
Either
insane. Everybody go ahead and give me a luck check, please.
Sure.
Luck check,
my luck is terrible.
Not like my luck.
Not as bad as yours, but
okay. Just barely made it.
Hooray.
Nope. That cool. 71 will not pass my luck of 25.
Okay, you guys don't see anyone that looks like they are having a particularly bad day and need some drugs or have a gambling problem or anything along those lines. I mean, doesn't mean that they don't, but at least through initially kind of following them home and whatnot, you don't find that any of them have anything obvious going on.
Can I look through the world's equivalent of like Reddit for people who are bitching about the company and find out if they're part of this particular branch and they're just disgruntled? Hey, you want to really stick it to the man.
Hey, that's not bad. Don't just check out Reddit. Check out whatever the equivalent of Glassdoor is.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, there's always people unhappy with Symbolica. You did get a success on your luck check, Kristan. So I will what I will say is that if you want this, it is plausible and it's there. I'll take a D10 hit to your luck.
A D10 hit to my luck. So just the D10
Roll
hit
it.
to the luck would be being able to do this thing.
Yeah, that you find someone who is disgruntled. Convincing them to do the thing is different, but that you can find the disgruntled, and I'll roll it for you.
Okay, go ahead. Go roll it. Let's do it.
Cool.
Why not?
It's a 2.
Nice. Okay.
Cool,
That would have
cool,
cut
cool.
my luck by 25%.
Well, I have
That's
I've
around
taken
20
the
points of luck
biggest
that you've hit.
single day hit on my luck today, but I've still got a decent amount. So okay,
You've
let's
spent more
yeah,
luck
you
than Ken
find-
has, so
You find Jandon Essie is a employee of Symbolica at the branch in Ols, who they're not a teller. I think it's unclear to you what exactly their role is, but they're like, yeah, they work us too hard. They don't pay us anything. They're all kind of shady dealings going on. Yeah, they are disgruntled for sure. And so you can create a fake account, initiate a conversation, and contact them if that's something that you want to do.
yeah. Well,
I love that idea.
Yep.
We can
Let's go with this.
provide them with a way to stick it to the man.
yeah. Well, and so
And we could frankly, we could even tell them it's a data tracker. Like we could straight tell them that, but we could just mislead them as to what it's being used for. Like, hey, we're using this as evidence of what you have been alleging.
we're
the good guys.
whistleblowers.
We're
Yeah.
whistleblowers trying to collect evidence of what you've been alleging. Yeah, this is going to skim some data. That's the point.
That is so good. I don't even need a roll for that. That works fantastically. Jandon is like, yes, finally somebody is gonna call
we're
them
taking
on
him
this
seriously.
nonsense. Yeah, and they're on board. They give you their address, or they give you a post office box to send the stick to.
Beautiful.
They
Understand. Now, in addition, instead of just making it a data tracker, get some money for us too.
that's
That
gonna
seems
be
risky.
that's gonna be
That
the
seems
higher
risky.
level of security thing
That
that we
seems
talked
really
about.
risky.
Yeah, getting access to the accounts is different than
Yep.
getting the data.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, why don't we wrap there, and that'll give me some
Cool.
time to come up with some
Perfect.
transactions for.
I love the
Sure.
idea of going after a disgruntled employee.
That was real good.
That was
really
very clever. Who did that?
Well,
That
I
was
started
Dan.
the Reddit thing because I have worked in corporate retail, which I consider corporate banking is probably not so very different. You deal
For
with
sure.
a lot of bullshit from both. I mean, you can simultaneously hate the customers and the company, and you get people who get just totally misanthropic and would be happy to throw a gear into the works with no benefit to themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great,
Well
great
done.
pitch.
Good.
This is called targeted fishing. This is
Eh,
the perfect kind of targeted
Right?
fishing here.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
You pick the weak point and tailor it to them.
Outstanding. Luck checks to boost up luck.
All right.
all right.
Jeez.
I miserably failed my luck check, so good. I more than doubled it.
I also
I got
failed.
1 point of luck back.
I failed my
Oh,
luck, and it's a D10.
Yeah,
All
Four
right.
points of luck back.
nice.
And I got 5 points of luck back.
I'm back up into the double digits.
I'm up to 29. That is my current luck. I was at 25.
Wow. Cool. Thanks for the game, you guys. And
All right.
That was great.
I'll see some of you in a little bit. And otherwise,
See you in a
next
bit.
time.
Cool.
All right.
Yay.
See ya.
Bye.
Right.